Hello everyone. Welcome to TELLS Videtionary. Today, May 31st, our word of the day is adhere. A-D-H-E-R-E. Adhere. Adhere is a 6-letter word and a verb. Remember, verbs are words that show action, occurrence, or state of being. Adhere means to stick firmly. In other words, to hold fast or stick by or as if by gluing, suction, grasping, or fusing. It also means to conform to or follow rules exactly and to believe in and follow the practices of. If you don't want monkey droppings to adhere to the sole of your shoe, watch where you're walking. Maybe if you'd adhere, or stick to, the zoo rules and stay on the walking path, you wouldn't have to worry about it. Adhere is from the 15th century French verb meaning to stick. Things that are sticky will adhere, or attach, to surfaces and stay there, whether you want them to or not. In other words, they're adhesive, an adjective that comes from the same Latin source as the French verb. When a person chooses to adhere to something, it is more of a choice to stick with it or agree to abide by rules or guidelines. You can also adhere by being loyal, as when you adhere to the high moral standards or behavior expected of some organization. Adhere to is a phrasal verb that means to stick to or follow a particular rule, policy, or belief. It is a commonly used phrase in both formal and informal settings, and it is important to know how to use it correctly in a sentence. Here are some tips on how to use adhere to in a sentence. Use it in the correct context. Adhere to is often used in the context of rules, policies, or guidelines. For example, all employees must adhere to the company's dress code policy. It is important to use the phrase in the correct context to avoid confusion. Use it in the correct tense. Adhere to is a phrasal verb that can be used in different tenses. For example, I will adhere to the rules, future tense. I am adhering to the rules, present continuous tense. Or I have adhered to the rules, past perfect tense. Make sure to use the correct tense based on the context of the sentence. Use it with the correct preposition. Adhere to is often followed by the preposition to. For example, the company adheres to strict safety guidelines. However, it can also be used with other prepositions such as with or by. For example, the artist adheres to a strict creative process or the team adheres by the principles of fair play. Use it with the correct subject-verb agreement. Adhere to is a phrasal verb that requires subject-verb agreement. For example, the team adheres to the rules, third-person singular subject, or we adhere to the guidelines, first-person plural subject. Make sure to use the correct subject-verb agreement based on the subject of the sentence. Use it to emphasize compliance. Adhere to is often used to emphasize compliance with a particular rule or policy. For example, the company strictly adheres to its code of ethics. Using adhere to in this way can emphasize the importance of following a particular rule or policy. In conclusion, adhere to is a commonly used phrasal verb that can be used in different contexts and tenses. It is important to use it correctly in a sentence to avoid confusion and emphasize compliance with a particular rule or policy. By following these tips, you can effectively use adhere to in your writing and communication. Similar words include stick, stick fast, cling, hold fast, cohere, bond, attach, be stuck, be fixed, be pasted, be glued. Examples of sentences using adhere are: a smooth, dry surface helps the tiles adhere to the wall. When I tell you to sit down, adhere to my order. Students who do not adhere to my rules will be sent home. Restaurants that don't adhere to strict health codes can be shut down. Adhere to the speed limit or you are at risk of being pulled over. Because Johnny did not adhere to the homework directions, he earned a failing grade. Make sure to save this new word, adhere, so you can practice using it in your everyday sentences.
That's all for today. Thank you for spending your time with me. I hope you learned something new. Remember, practice makes perfect, and we'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment after every video. All comments are welcome. Don't forget to like and share this video. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you receive similar videos every day. Have a fulfilling day. See you tomorrow. Cheers!